If you're planning a budget Caribbean trip in 2026, some of the usual cheap places aren't cheap anymore, and some of the places you'd never expect are quietly incredible value. Here's what's actually worth your money right now. I'm Roger from priceoftravel.com. Let's get started. Punta Cana is still the all-inclusive king of the Caribbean, but it's also become a victim of its own popularity. These days, even the cheapest beachfront all-inclusive resorts there usually start at around $300 per night in high season, and many are well over $400. It's still good value for what you get, but it's no longer cheap. That's where Puerto Plata comes in. This is an older, more traditional resort area on the Dominican Republic's north coast, and while it doesn't have Punta Cana's endless mega resorts, it quietly offers some of the best all-inclusive prices anywhere in the Caribbean right now. The most extreme example is Playa Bachata, which I originally found while researching another video and honestly couldn't believe it at first. Rates are currently around $133 per night, including all meals and drinks. The reviews aren't luxury level, but they're respectable for the price, and visually it looks far better than you'd expect at that number. For travelers who thought a Caribbean resort was completely out of reach this year, this is a real option. And if that feels a little too adventurous, there's a more polished step-up option right next door. Viva Heavens by Wyndham, a recognizable international chain, typically starts around $226 per night. It's modern, right on the beach, and has solid reviews, making it one of the safest budget all-inclusive picks in the region. Puerto Plata may not be flashy, but for value-focused travelers who still want a true beach resort experience, it's one of the strongest bargains in the Caribbean right now. And if you think these all-inclusive prices are good, wait until you see the last one. It's on a completely different level for the money. I'm a huge fan of San Juan. The beaches, the food, the culture, but let's be honest, it's not cheap anymore, and not everyone wants a big city vibe on a beach vacation anyway. The good news is that once you leave the San Juan metro area, Puerto Rico gets a lot more affordable, and one of the best value spots on the entire island is Rincón on the far western coast. It's a laid-back beach town known for surfing, sunsets, and a relaxed, low-key atmosphere that feels worlds away from the city. Beach hotels here are dramatically cheaper than in San Juan, and one that really stands out is Villa Cofresi Hotel, starting at around $202 per night. It's right on the beach, has a beautiful pool, and while it may look fairly modest at first glance, the reviews tell a completely different story. Villa Cofresi has an almost unheard of 9.8 out of 10 average rating from over 1,000 reviews, which is honestly the highest score I've ever seen after looking at tens of thousands of hotels over the years. And because it's Puerto Rico, Americans don't need a passport, your phone works like normal, and flights are plentiful. If you want an easy Caribbean trip with great beaches, incredible reviews, and prices that are less than half of San Juan, Rincón is a seriously underrated option. One quick note here, Jamaica used to be one of the best budget all-inclusive destinations in the Caribbean, but right now prices are up and value is down, especially compared to several places you'll see later in this video. Aruba has long been one of the nicest and most polished islands in the Caribbean, but at least in the last few years, prices there have gone through the roof. These days, beachfront resorts in Aruba often start well over $500 a night, which has quietly pushed it out of the budget-friendly territory. The good news is that Aruba's neighbors still offer much of the same appeal at far lower prices, and Curaçao is the best example of that right now. Curaçao has that same Dutch Caribbean charm, colorful architecture, and stunning turquoise water, but with far less overdevelopment and much better value. It's also more of a real place with walkable areas, local restaurants, and a relaxed European feel that a lot of travelers prefer. One hotel that really stands out is Dolphin Suites and Wellness Curaçao. Rooms here start at around $273 per night, and it holds an excellent 9.2 review score. The hotel itself looks far nicer than you'd expect at this price point, and it's just a short walk to one of the island's most beautiful beaches with that vivid electric blue water Curaçao is known for. If Aruba feels out of reach right now, Curaçao is quietly one of the best value alternatives in the Caribbean. Bonaire is the quieter, more laid-back neighbor of Curaçao, and it's especially famous for diving and snorkeling. This is one of the best islands in the Caribbean if you care more about clear water and reefs than nightlife or big resorts. Like Curaçao, Bonaire has very few chain hotels and almost no mega resorts, which is exactly why the value can be so surprising. One place that really stands out is the Chogogo Dive and Beach Resort Bonaire, with rooms starting around $209 per night and an outstanding 9.4 review average. It's right on the beach, it has a huge, beautiful pool, free cabanas for guests, and even a lazy river that runs along the resort, which honestly looks fun enough that you might not even leave the property. If you're a diver, this place is a dream with easy access to dive sites. And even if you're not, it still looks like a proper Caribbean resort for far less than you'd expect. Bonaire definitely isn't for everyone. It's quiet, relaxed, and nature-focused, but if that sounds appealing, the value here is exceptional. By the way, if this kind of practical, price-driven Caribbean advice is helpful, a quick like really helps the channel, and I put out new videos like this every week. This next one is a great example of how misleading reputation can be. People assume this island is only for luxury travelers, but the numbers tell a very different story. St. Kitts is one of those islands that feels far more upscale than the prices suggest, and it's been one of my personal favorites for years. It's smaller, calmer, and more refined than many Caribbean islands, with lush green hills, great beaches, and a relaxed but polished vibe. The surprising part is that you can still find genuinely excellent hotels here at prices that feel almost outdated compared to the rest of the region. A standout example is the Royal St. Kitts Hotel. Rooms are currently starting at around $156 per night, and it still holds an excellent 9.0 review average. The rooms are large, the pool is gorgeous, and you're about a 10-minute walk from the beach, restaurants, and beach bars, including spots right next to the St. Kitts Marriott. And that's where the value really becomes obvious. The St. Kitts Marriott itself is a great resort, but rooms there start around $435 per night, and many other islands charge $600 or more for something comparable. Staying nearby at Royal St. Kitts lets you enjoy the same area and beaches for a fraction of the price. If you want a Caribbean island that feels upscale, uncrowded, and relaxed without paying luxury island prices, St. Kitts is still one of the best values out there right now. Now this next one looks simpler than the others, and that's exactly the point. If you care more about location, walkability, and price than fancy resort vibes, this is one of the smartest beach bases in the region. If you're looking for a budget-friendly alternative to Cancun's hotel zone, Playa del Carmen is where a lot of experienced travelers end up. Beachfront hotels in the hotel zone now start at around $225 a night, and once you're there, dining and drinks are expensive and limited unless you're inside a resort. Playa del Carmen is different. You still get Caribbean water and easy airport access, but you also get walkable streets, affordable restaurants, beach clubs, and far more flexibility, which matters a lot if you're trying to keep costs down. One of the best examples is Casa Melissa, which starts at just $106 per night and still earns a solid 8.4 review score. It's a simple, no-frills hotel, but it's right on the beach, just steps from Fifth Avenue, and the cheapest rooms even have partial ocean views. There's a small pool, easy access to diving and snorkeling tours, and you're within walking distance of ferries, shops, and tons of local dining. It's not a luxury resort, but for budget travelers who want real Caribbean water, a great location, and prices that still feel reasonable, Playa del Carmen offers some of the best value in the region. Alright, now for that all-inclusive that honestly surprised me the most. If you're set on Cancun because you picture that famous strip of beach in the hotel zone, I get it, but honestly that area isn't always the best value anymore. Many of the hotels are isolated with limited walkable options, and prices have crept up without offering much more in return. Once you move south into the Riviera Maya, everything changes. This is where you unlock massive, full-service, all-inclusive resorts that feel more like vacation playgrounds than traditional hotels, and often at better prices than the hotel zone. A perfect example is the Grand Sirenas Riviera Maya Resort and Spa, which starts at around $378 per night in high season and still holds a strong 8.6 review score. It's a huge resort with nearly 1,000 rooms, but that scale works in your favor here. What really makes this place stand out is the layout. There's a giant lazy river-style canal system running between the rooms and the beach, so the resort feels lush and spread out instead of crowded. Add multiple pools, a long stretch of private beach, and a ridiculous amount of dining, 10 restaurants, beach bars, and pool bars, and you start to see why this is such a standout deal. Every room is a spacious junior suite with a private hot tub style bathtub. The entire resort was renovated recently, and there's so much included that you could easily spend a week here without repeating the same experience twice. If your idea of a budget Caribbean trip is getting the most resort for your money, this is exactly the kind of place that proves you don't need the hotel zone or a $500 nightly rate to get an incredible all-inclusive experience. So that's what's actually cheap in the Caribbean right now. Places where prices haven't gone crazy and your money still goes a long way. I've put all the hotels, prices, and notes from this video into a full article on priceoftravel.com, and that link is on the screen now and down in the description if you want to dig deeper or check dates. And if all-inclusive resorts are more your style, I've also got a recent video breaking down the cheapest Caribbean islands for all-inclusive stays, with some options that are still shockingly affordable in 2026. I'll link that one right here. Thanks for watching. If this helped, a quick like really does help the channel, and feel free to subscribe for more practical, price-driven travel videos every week. See you in the next one.